welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are plunging into some really challenging territory. The closing chapters of the book of Judges, chapter 17 right through to 21.
Yeah, and it's more than just, ancient history. It's like a blueprint for societal collapse, a real cautionary tale.
It definitely feels that way. And the whole section is bracketed by this really powerful phrase that gets repeated.
In those days, Israel had no king.
Right.
It hammers that point home.
Now, obviously, we know they didn't have a king during the whole period of the Judges. That's the point of the book. But repeating it 4 times just in these last few chapters, it feels, I don't know, significant.
It seems really deliberate. It's not just stating a fact. It's highlighting the felt absence, the lack of a central, maybe righteous authority figure, and the chaos that rushes in to fill that gap.
Okay, so what kind of chaos? The text points to 2 big failures that stem from this.
Exactly. Right? First, you get this power vacuum, and it gets filled by, well, frankly, inadequate leaders. You see priests stepping up, tribal elders. Even Moses' own grandson gets roped in.
But interestingly, no actual judges are mentioned right at the end, which is kind of strange for the book called Judges.
It really is. It's like the designated leaders are missing in action. And that leads straight into the second failure, which is really the heart of the crisis here.
Which is?
Because there was no king, everyone did what was right in their own eyes.
Okay, what was right in their own eyes.
Yeah.
That sounds like moral relativism, basically.
Yeah.
Anarchy.
Well, yes, but it's even a bit more specific. That Hebrew word for right is yashar. It means straight or even justified. The Greek translation uses agathon, meaning good.
So, wait, you're saying the people committing theft, murder, all the horrific stuff in these chapters, they thought their actions were justified or even good.
That's the chilling implication. They weren't necessarily acting out of pure conscious evil, thinking I'm doing bad. They'd twisted their definition of justice, of what's right or good, to fit whatever they wanted. Self-interest became their morality.
Wow. Okay, that's dark. So our mission today is to unpack that, how self-interest got disguised as righteousness.
Exactly. And the sources, these chapters, they actually trace 5 different types of failed human leadership. Each one shows a leader defining justice based on what they desperately wanted from the world.
5 types. What are they?
We start with the father figure seeking approval, then the priest seeking legitimacy. Then we get the man, a charismatic figure seeking love. After that, the general seeking success. And finally, the elders, the wise men, seeking happiness.
Approval, legitimacy, love, success, happiness. Okay, it sounds like a downward spiral.
It is. It goes from, dodgy dealings in one household right up to national catastrophe and genocide.
All right, let's start the descent then. Failure number 1, the father seeking approval. This is Judges 17, the story of Micah.
Yeah, Micah. This guy is basically building his own DIY religion in his house.
Right, he makes a shrine, gets some idols. He even makes a copy of the high priest's special vestment, the ephod, and he installs his own son as priest initially.
It's all counterfeit, though. He knows it's not quite right. What he really craves is validation. He wants someone or something to tell him this is okay, that it's blessed.
And he thinks he finds it when a Levite, a member of the priestly tribe, just happens to wander by.
Exactly. Micah jumps on this guy's pedigree. He hears Levite and immediately offers him a job. Be my father and my priest. He wants that spiritual rubber stamp, but also, interestingly, a father figure.
A relational need, too.
Right. And as soon as the Levite accepts, Micah basically shouts, yes, now I know the Lord will prosper me because I have a Levite as my priest. He thinks he's bought himself a divine insurance policy.
But where does this need for approval come from? The story gives us a clue earlier on, doesn't it? With his mother.
Oh, absolutely. It turns out Micah had stolen a huge amount of silver 1,100 pieces from his own mother. When she finds out it was him, what does she do?
She doesn't confront him, does she? She sort of smooths it over, pronounces a blessing on him, and even dedicates the stolen money to the Lord to make an idol for Micah's shrine.
It's classic conflict avoidance. Psychologists might call it an enmeshed relationship. She prioritizes, keeping the peace, relational harmony over actual moral accountability. Consenting to theft would be uncomfortable.
So she uses religion, dedicating the money, to sidestep the actual problem.
And Micah learns from this. Both mother and son use religious language and actions to avoid the hard stuff, the actual demands of justice and honesty. Micah wants approval from mom, from this Levite father, ultimately from God, but he wants it without obedience.
And the text implies he doesn't really get true blessing or justice in the end. He gets affirmation, But it's hollow.
Completely hollow, which sets us up perfectly for the next stage of the decline. Failure number 2, the priest seeking legitimacy. This is chapter 18, and it features that same Levi priest Micah hired. Jonathan's his name, we find out later.
Jonathan. And he gets what looks like a major career boost, right?
Oh, yeah. A once-in-a-lifetime promotion, as you called it earlier. Suddenly, 600 heavily armed men from the tribe of Dan show up at Micah's place.
Not exactly a friendly visit.
No. And they see Jonathan the Levite, and they basically offer him a job upgrade. Why be a priest for just one guy's house when you can be the priest for a whole tribe?
And Jonathan, he goes for it. Just like that.
He seems pretty easily persuaded. The text says his heart was glad. He was willing to ditch Micah, take the stolen idols with him, and go with the Danites. He compromises whatever conviction or integrity he might have had for a bigger platform.
He becomes what, like a puppet?
Yeah, more puppet than priest is a good way to put it. He's just going along for the ride for the status.
But why did the Danites want him so badly? They're warriors on a mission. Why stop for a priest?
That's the key. They wanted legitimacy. They find out later that Jonathan isn't just any Levite. He's the grandson of Moses, Gershom's son.
Wow, okay, that's a serious pedigree.
Huge. So having him with them, this descendant of Moses, gives their whole enterprise a veneer of spiritual authority, of legitimacy in their own eyes, maybe even, they hope, in God's eyes.
Even though their enterprise is
What?
pretty shady from the start.
It's worse than shady. After they grab Jonathan and Micah's idols, then they continue their journey and attack the city of Lachish.
Lachish, described as what? Quiet and unsuspecting.
Exactly. Living peaceably, bothering no one. The Danites commit genocide. They wipe them out completely, a people who posed absolutely no threat to them.
So stopping to pick up the priest and the idols was like getting their mission blessed before they committed mass murder.
It's incredibly cynical, isn't it? It's like his presence launders their violence. He provides the religious cover they need to feel justified in doing something utterly unjustifiable. It's like he's baptizing their sin.
That's a disturbing image. It really shows how religious authority can be twisted to serve wicked ends.
And it paves the way for the next failures, where things get even more personal and somehow even more brutal. Failure 3 is the man seeking love in chapter 19.
Okay, another Levite. This book has issues with Levites.
It certainly highlights their failures. This one isn't named. He just called the man-ish in Hebrew. It's emphasized, mentioned like 15 times.
And what's his deal? The source described him as charismatic, cool, confident.
Yeah, he seems like he has it all together initially. He speaks and people listen. He commands his concubine, his servant. Even his father-in-law seems to bend to his schedule. He projects control.
That confidence thing.
Yeah.
People often mistake that for competence, right? Or even goodness.
Absolutely. There's that insight, I think, from Kahneman that we instinctively confuse confidence with competence. We see someone acting sure of themselves, and we just assume they know what they're doing and that they're probably decent. We ignore contradictory evidence because, well, what we see is all there is. Perception wins.
But with this guy, the perception is dangerously wrong. His confidence masks something ugly.
Deeply ugly. The story takes a horrific turn. He's staying in a town, Gibeah, and a mob surrounds the house demanding to assault him. What does he do?
He throws his concubine out to them to save himself.
Without a moment's hesitation, it seems. He treats her as utterly disposable property, and the aftermath is just as chilling.
She dies on the doorstep, and then he just packs her body up.
Packs her body up, takes her home, and then... This is almost unbelievable. He dismembers her body into 12 pieces and mails the parts to the 12 tribes of Israel.
Why? What on earth is the goal there?
To incite outrage, to manipulate the entire nation into taking up his cause. He uses her horrific death as a political tool to gain influence, to rally people behind him. There's zero empathy, zero grief apparent. Just cold calculation.
So his seeking love is really about seeking affirmation, loyalty, power, but completely detached from justice or basic human decency. Love without God's justice.
Precisely. And his manipulative act works. Which brings us to failure 4. The general seeking success. This is chapter 20.
The whole nation gets involved now.
Yes. His personal vendetta scales up massively. All the tribes of Israel gather as one man, Ki Ish, echoing his title, Ish United, by what seems like a righteous cause.
The cause being punishment for the atrocity in Gibeah.
Exactly. The destruction of evil. You need a powerful cause to unite people, especially for war. And this seemed noble enough. Let's wipe out the wicked.
Except the wicked you're targeting is
their own brother tribe, Benjamin. Because the town of Gibeah was in Benjaminite territory, and the tribe initially refused to hand over the guilty men.
So it becomes a civil war. Did they consult God this time? They seem to do that sometime.
They did. They actually asked God 3 times, essentially. Should we go to war against our brothers, the Benjaminites? And 3 times, God basically says, go up against them.
Okay, if God said yes, then surely they'd win easily, especially with numbers.
You'd think. They had a massive advantage, something like 400,000 troops against maybe 26,000 Benjaminites, an 18-to-1 ratio, roughly.
So a quick victory then.
Not at all. They lost the first battle, losing 22,000 men. They asked God again, got the same answer, attacked again, and lost another 18,000 men.
40,000 casualties. Despite God saying go, what's going on there?
It seems God was communicating through the outcome as much as the initial answer. It's like he gave them permission to pursue the path they were determined to take, this path of vengeance. But the devastating losses were a brutal lesson, a warning, like, see where this leads. Are you sure you want this?
But they didn't get the message.
Apparently not. They finally win the third battle using an ambush tactic. They achieve military success, but the cost is immense.
The tribe of Benjamin is almost completely wiped out. Only 600 men survive.
Right. They pursued justice, but without love, without mercy, maybe without thinking about restoration. It became pure vengeance, hatred leading to genocide against their own family. Success achieved, but it's a horrifying, hollow victory.
Good grief. Just keeps getting worse. What could possibly follow that?
Well, we reach the final failure, failure 5, the wise men seeking happiness. This is chapter 21, dealing with the messy aftermath. The leaders now are the elders.
The elders. Okay, these should be the sensible ones, right? The experienced leaders who can fix things.
You'd hope so, but they come across more like, like a committee focused on damage control and making everyone feel better. They look at the situation, one tribe nearly extinct, the surviving men needing wives, and they just start complaining.
Complaining? About what?
About the outcome. Oh dear, why has this happened? Why is a tribe missing from Israel? Lots of weeping and mourning. But notice what's missing.
What?
Any sense of responsibility, any confession. They were part of the war council. They made rash oaths like swearing not to give their daughters to the Benjaminites. But now it's all, oh, woe is us. How did this happen? It's never, we messed up.
They're blaming circumstances, not their own choices.
Exactly. Their main goal now is just smooth things over, make the unhappy people happy again. They seem terrified of disappointing their followers, the remaining Israelites. They're fixers, not leaders taking moral responsibility.
So how did these wise elders propose to fix the wife shortage for the Benjaminites, given their own oath?
Well, this is where it gets truly creative and horrifying. They basically concoct a plan for mass kidnapping.
Kidnapping? Seriously?
Seriously. They tell the remaining Benjaminite soldiers to go hide in the vineyards near Shiloh during an annual religious festival, wait for the young women of Shiloh to come out and dance, then jump out, grab a wife each, and run for it.
That's their solution. Sanctioned kidnapping at a religious festival.
That's the plan. And they even present it with this word, hina, meaning behold or look, as if it's this divinely inspired, clever solution that just appeared.
Wow. And their main concern isn't the trauma to the girls or the violation of the festival.
Their main worry seems to be political fallout. What if the fathers and brothers of the kidnapped girls complain? They even prep an excuse for the Benjaminites to use.
What's the excuse?
It's a masterpiece of blame shifting. They'll tell the families, well, you didn't technically give them your daughters in marriage, breaking the oath. They were taken. So you're guiltless. Everyone's hands are clean, technically.
It's looking good while doing evil. Appearance over substance again.
It's the ultimate example. And how does the chapter and the book end?
Everyone just goes home.
Yeah.
The Benjaminites have wives. The other Israelites go back to their tribes.
Yeah. Everyone went home. Peace restored, apparently. Happiness achieved for most. Their silence, their contentment was bought by sacrificing justice for these young women. As long as life could get back to normal, seem peaceful. That was good enough.
Which brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? The final verse repeats the theme.
In those days, Israel had no king. Everyone did what was right or justified or good in their own eyes. The entire closing section is this devastating critique of human leadership defining justice by its own needs, approval, legitimacy, love, success, happiness, instead of God's standard.
It's a stark warning about substituting self-interest for genuine righteousness.
It really is. And it leaves us with a pretty pointed question, I think. When we look for leaders, or even when we act ourselves, what are we really after?
Do we genuinely want leaders or want to be people who will stand up for what's truly right, even when it's hard? Or are we often just looking for elders
Fixers. People who will just manage the messy stuff, take care of the problems quietly, maybe bend the rules so that we can just get on with our lives feeling comfortable and undisturbed.
That's uncomfortable to think about.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder who actually wants a true king, one who brings real divine justice.
Yeah, the book suggests it's probably not the majority, not the comfortable, the prominent, the ones who are kind of happy with the status quo, even if it's flawed.
So who does long for that kind of justice?
Maybe it's the victims. The ones who don't have the peace and happiness the elders engineered, the kidnapped girls of Shiloh, the people of Laish who were wiped out, those who haven't received the promises yet. True peace, true justice, true flourishing.
The ones who are still waiting. Like those people mentioned in Hebrews, who died in faith without receiving the things promised, but saw them and welcomed them from a distance.
Exactly. Those overlooked believers, the ones still looking forward, still longing for a city whose builder and maker is God. The sources suggest it's those people God is not ashamed to be called their God, because their hope isn't in the flawed fixes of today, but in his ultimate justice yet to come.
That's a powerful final thought. A different kind of hope.
A much more enduring one.